Welcome to Courage is Built Here, the podcast. I'm Justine Froelker, licensed professional counselor, author, speaker, and corporate trainer. Here, we bring my Courage is Built Here curriculum to life and community. Each week, I invite a guest to walk one of the 5 courageous pathways with me through authentic, sometimes tough, sometimes hilarious conversations. No performance, no polish, just real people practicing real courage with grit, grace, and a whole lot of love. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Courage is Built Here, the podcast. Today, we have Pathway 3, Be Fully You. So all about authenticity, about vulnerability, really, because you cannot be who you fully are, raw and authentic, without vulnerability, without showing people your heart. And so Be Fully You is really about how do you show up in all those spaces that you exist in, that you have to exist in, that you must exist in, sometimes even if you don't want to, as all of who you are, even when those spaces don't deserve to see all of you, even when those spaces are not safe or brave enough for you. And for some of us more than others, that tends to be more true. And at the end of the day, the systems, the spaces that I exist in, I do not allow them to tell me who I am. I do not allow systems or spaces to take my authenticity from me. I am me, all of me, everywhere I go. Sometimes that means more boundaried than others, for sure, especially if the space isn't safe or brave enough for me. Because sometimes you can't trust people with your heart. Except I'm not going to allow them to diminish who I am, to make me self-protect, push people away, people please, caretake, perfect. I may be boundaried. I'm still going to be me, though. That's Be Fully You. Today's guest is one of my clients and one of my friends, Chel'Lee Whitten. Sheli is the assistant superintendent at Bayless School District. Bayless has been working with me since 2019 for a very long time now, and they are truly one of the greatest honors of my career, to be honest. Sheli is one of those people in my life that we have this spirit connection. She is true, curious joy, and she just loves people really well. And she exudes that when she walks into a space in this like really kind way. She's the mother of 2 adult children. So she's here in St. Louis, and she's just like, she walks out this work. She walks it out in a way that you can really feel, not just see. So I'm really excited for you to listen in on this conversation with Sheli. Welcome, Sheli, to the Courage is Built Here podcast. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. It's such an honor. I'm such a big fan of you, Justine, as a person and in the work that you do.
Well, and you are my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this. I'm excited. So we're going to start the conversation where we always do. When you think about courage, most especially through that lens of Pathway 3, Be Fully You, is there a story or a moment that comes up for you that rises up?
There is. As I think about that pathway, Be Fully You, one of the things that really resonates with the work is that I have always played small. And I felt like I haven't been allowed to be myself, being told that you're a lot and, you're an outlier to everything. And so when I stepped into this role, the leadership role, assistant superintendent at my district, at Bayless School District, I was stepping into some big shoes and knowing that I had to fill those shoes and then also make my mark to prove that I belonged, in that role was very challenging, and so I knew that I could do the work, but I knew that I would was also being measured to, other things, and so one of our at that time, assistant superintendents, Mr. Mike Hawkins, um, he said to me, he was like, "You were hired to be you." And great, I love that. I wasn't ready to hear it.
Oh,
That second year, "You're doing great work." I knew that I still had a long way to go and grow, as I believe everyone does. And again, he just reassured me that you've already proven yourself because you have the job. You were hired to be you. And so that 3rd year, which was last year, and that was a challenging year, and it really just hit me that I was hired to be me. I am good enough. I do belong. And so I just stepped into my own authenticity
yeah.
and really dove into my values, and that's something that I appreciate from you. You always bring it back to your values, and so my values are love and knowledge, and so really everything that I did last year, I tried to stay rooted in those values,
Mhm.
and that really helped my authentic self to come
Yeah.
out, and I felt more confident in the work, and, so that's, kind of what led
Yeah.
me to this.
Yeah. There's that piece of like, I mean, because I have we have that similar story that we have believed for far too long. Like, I need to stay small, you're too much and never enough, like whatever it might be, right? Like
Mhm.
those untruths. And yet I believed them for so much of my life. And so, there is this like, there comes that moment though that when you're placed into a position or a space because you deserve it, you've earned it, and yet, and I do think that part of us knows that,
I agree.
except it doesn't match up with the story that we've lived into and from for so long.
Mhm.
And it's
Absolutely.
yeah, like it's like, what do we like? So how do we reconcile that, right?
I'm so my light just went off,
You're
and
good.
it's back on.
But
So,
like,
yeah.
how do we reconcile that, right? Like, how did you? Was there a moment? Was there a tipping point? Was there like no, I like this is I was created to do this. I'm qualified and equipped and I can't, right? Like, was there a moment or was it just over time for you?
So, there was actually a moment last year. So, last year, very challenging year, and what I've learned about myself is that I do love a challenge. And one of the things I decided to do in my personal life was keep promises that I make to myself. I am so quick to, when it comes to me, whether it's a doctor's appointment, whether it's working out or doing
Yeah.
whatever, I'll say I'm going to do it and then I won't do it. But for anybody else and for every other thing, I can show up. And so it just came, to a point last year's, how am I showing up for me? Or earlier this year, how am I
Yeah.
showing up for me? And I can't be true to myself if I'm not keeping my own promises. And
Yeah.
so I started being consistent in my own life, my personal life, to the things that I said that I was going to do for me
Mm.
because I am worth it. I
Yep.
do deserve it. Um, and if I'm staying rooted in my value of love, I can't love others well, and something I learned from you, I can't love others well if I'm not truly loving myself, and every time I break a promise to myself, it's that little cut, death by a thousand cuts, and I
Ugh.
just take myself down, "You're not worth it, you're not worth it, you're not worth it," and so just really owning that, I have 2 adult children, 27 and 23, and they have taught me so much,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I also want to be the best person, the best role model
Yeah.
still for them, and so how do I show that? And so that's
Mhm.
with staying true to myself. So then
Mhm.
I took that, and I just felt good, I feel and one of the things is I do a workout in the morning, 4:45.
Yep.
I feel so powerful, um, and I feel so strong just because I show up for myself.
Yep.
Now, I'm still not lifting all the heaviest weights and still working on the cardio, but
Yeah.
I feel good because I show up for myself, and
Mhm.
so showing up for myself fully allows me to show up well for others, and not that I
Mhm.
wasn't doing that, but then there was always that piece of me that I'm not good enough. While I'm supporting everybody and doing the work,
Uh-huh.
I'm not good enough. But when I truly believe that I am good enough, and that starts with trusting yourself,
Mhm.
keeping those promises.
It was that it's that piece of, like, in the and actually showing up and following through for you from a place of your values of love, that it, like, that bolsters the wherewithal to actually be fully you in all those spaces. Because, like, when you back it up with, like, that self-care and follow through, like, you're not small, you're not nothing, like, you aren't too much, like, or not enough, like, you are enough because you're actually backing it up in the actions of self-care and showing up for
Mhm.
yourself in order to actually show up in the full authenticity in those spaces.
Yes, yes, and that's something that I've struggled with. My, assistant superintendent, which I love her, she's amazing, Amy Ruzicka, she
Yeah.
led an activity once that said, "If you had to choose 4 people to sit at your table, to do the planning and all of the things, and you wanna build these new systems, who would those 4 people be?" And I had those 4 people, and one of the things she said is that, "You didn't include yourself." And she's so right. People, discount what
Yeah.
they bring, and they lean on others, as not necessarily a sign of weakness, but again, sometimes we trust others to get us there more than we trust ourselves. No one's gonna get us there but us,
No.
and no matter where you are in your position in life, country, you meet yourself where you are. And
Mhm.
so you can run or try to jump ship and be with these people because it's gonna help you, but you're still you.
Yeah.
And so how do you bring your authentic self into every situation? And so that has always resonated with me that
Yeah.
I sit at my table.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so, and that has just helped me this year. And so, again, it's those challenges that I face that really fueled me to look further into my own self.
Yeah.
We, we're struggling with trust. Trust these days is just it's a big deal. You
Big deal.
want to trust in every area, but if you don't trust yourself and what you bring, how do you fully have trust?
Yeah. 'Cause we like, it is I'll come back to that every time. If you can't, if you're struggling to meet yourself with it, it's really hard, if not impossible, to meet others with it. And if I'm not trusting myself, it's gonna be like, I'm gonna project that onto you. And then, like, believe
Absolutely,
this
I
story that,
agree,
like,
and,
nope, it's just
that's the
you.
thing, it's
Like,
important to
it's not
do
me,
the courage
right?
work, but you
Oh,
have
I
to
think
start with being courageous with yourself. Really
right.
breaking it down, reflecting, and have an honest, conversation. I have conversations with myself, but just really being truthful. If you are not able to really strip down, let down the armor,
Yep.
because we have that, and, like, why do we have so much armor?
No.
Why is it necessary? Is it necessary? We go into that fight or flight, that
Yeah.
protective mode, and everyone does. I
Mhm.
still struggle with that. But at the root of it, what are we protecting ourselves from?
Mhm. Yeah.
And so I think that's just uh, been a key for me is that I am here in this space. I bring all of me. I'm not everyone's cup of tea.
Me either.
I'm okay with that,
I
but I'm enough for me.
Uh-huh.
And
Right?
so every year I choose a word. One year it was, and I have bracelets. One year it was purpose.
Love it.
One year it was fearless. This year, my word is presence. And one of
Ooh,
the reasons I told and it has 2 meanings. So presence is, I was talking to my daughter, and my children both have been fortunate enough in their young lives to be in leadership. And so leadership looks different when you're 22. And
yeah.
so just being able to have those conversations, and we were talking about the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And one thing I said to her is, the grass is greener wherever you are,
Yep.
because I know what I bring. And I was telling my daughter,
Yep.
you know what you bring, you know who you are. So no matter where you stand, the grass will always be greener because it's your presence, it's what you bring. And then also with that presence, I bring the presence of God with me everywhere I am. And so his presence, I can rest in that and just be comfortable in who I am. So
Mhm.
I'm comfortable because I know that I bring God's presence with me,
Yeah.
and I'm comfortable enough to know that I am very humble. I believe everyone has a lot to learn, and I love that. That's why my second value is knowledge.
Yeah.
And I know what I bring, and I know that I can make things better
Yeah.
because I choose to.
Yeah. There's that piece. I've been doing it so much, like, kinda learning and work myself of, like, I want to bring into that space, peace, joy, love, like, the kingdom, my heart, and I know, like, it exudes off of me, especially when I'm doing my work, right, and really in union, but, like, it exudes off, but, like, there's a piece of, like, how long did it take me to all that the stu the stuff that I did to impress, to perfect, to people please, to self protect, to insist on doing it all myself, push people away. Like all that did, like it wasn't protection.
Yeah.
It covered up the spirit. It like my spirit, it covered
Yeah.
up the kingdom that we bring into every room, right? Like that, it
Yes.
covers up the presence.
Yes.
And it's like it's at such a cost because that is not authenticity, not even a little bit, which means people aren't able to connect with you because they can't see you.
Absolutely. And if you think about it, the heart of the work that you do and that so many of us do, there it goes again. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Slang.
it is not an accident when it's happening either, so we're gonna go with it, like,
We are gonna go with it. I love it because this is the authentic me, as you can see.
yep, this is it. Well, and I had told you when we before we started, I was like, "Oh, you're here. You're like the first person to not have tech problems." Nope. Like, everybody we've all had them
No,
so far, and we're
and I
just
think
gonna leave it.
and I think that's what's great. One thing that's really great about you is that you're so authentic and you allow others to be authentic as well. And this is the thing, you know, knowledge is important. I have 5 degrees. I love to learn, and I am very human. The lights go out in my office when I'm not moving around. So allowing people to see that human side of me, that
Right.
vulnerability, piece,
Yeah.
I'm a recovering perfectionist, recovering people pleaser, um,
Me too.
but allowing this situation with the
Yeah.
lights to go off, I'm okay with it. And so I know it would, really be bothersome to others, but
Yep.
this
Well,
is
and
where I am.
there's also that element too. I think the more we heal and we do this work, like I mean, I suppose we could say like, okay, we need to start all over. Like, except I'm not going to choose to spend my very limited time and bandwidth on that, right? Like when I know, like, actually, this is exactly the way it's supposed to be. I know that we can trust it, and it is. It's true. Like every time you show up as all of who you are, there, I do. I think I guarantee it. I promise. There's one person that you help choose bravery because of that. Like that is one of the most common things I get. Like you literally just put it out there and, like, I just, like I I went and told so and so about this part that I've been wanting to say forever because I, like, watched you on freaking Instagram with your wet curls and no makeup just teaching me my courage teach for the day, and I was like, "Because it's Monday, and that's my day on Monday," and, like, so, like right? But
Yeah,
it's just, like it is permission for other people, and it's not why we do it, and yet it is all at the same time, right? Like, I want us to show up as all of who we are because we deserve it, we're worthy of it,
Right.
and the world's in desperate need of seeing authentic, real people for
Mhm.
sure. And dang if it doesn't, like, it serves, and it really does bolster someone else's courage to show up a little bit more brave too.
Absolutely. I definitely believe that, and when you don't bring your whole self, into the work, you are denying other people
Yeah.
that
Mm.
opportunity to learn from you,
Yeah.
and so that's the goal of this work is just to be with others, to for you to grow, for you to help others to grow. At least that's my, one of my main goals
Yeah.
is to really help others grow. But if I diminish those parts of me
Mhm.
and not allow people access to that, now don't get me wrong, not everyone has deserves access to all parts of you. Um, but in the work, when I do if I do diminish myself and play small, I'm not being authentic, I'm not sharing that. How much do I expect other people to grow and be authentic in their work if I'm not leading
Yeah.
that work?
Yeah. Absolutely. What does it look like for you? I mean, it in a significant position of leadership, what's it how does authenticity, be fully you, all these parts of you show up? Because like you said, there are definitely going to be people and or spaces and or systems that they don't hold the honor, they don't earn the right to see all of us, and so we got to come with some boundaries maybe.
Mhm.
But like what's that leadership wise? What does it look like for you to be all of you?
And so sometimes that's tricky,
Yeah.
and those are pieces that I'm still learning and growing and working through. But what it looks like for me is to be honest with people, to love them. And not everyone has the same idea of what love looks like.
Mm,
Um, but if I love you, I'm going to hold you to some expectations. If I love you, I'm going to expect you to do more in the work. If I'm leaning into love, I'm going to own my mistakes and allow you to own those mistakes
mhm.
and expect for you to grow from those mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you play safe. I'm not going to let you do less than what I know that you're capable of. And then when we get to what people are capable of, there's a capacity issue.
Mm,
Not everyone has the skills, the capacity to do those things that you expect them to do. And
mhm.
that's where the true courage comes in because you need to be honest with them.
Yeah.
Um, just because you're not meeting my expectations doesn't mean you can't go somewhere else and meet those expectations.
True.
Um,
That's true.
I am trying to be more consistent with, showing up, and what that means with showing up is that I show up. I will be there for you, like the song, "I'll be there for you," and there's so many different things
Yes.
sometimes that pull my focus, and so when we think about presence, I wanna show up, and then I'm gonna be fully present. That
Yeah.
means putting my phone down, not opening my laptop, but really that act of listening to hone in and focus on you in that moment
Yeah.
and what you need, but allowing you, um, to bring me the recommendations for you to do the thinking, for you to do the hard work, and that's truly what leadership is. It's that are you giving people the opportunities to learn and grow? When we think about what support looks like,
Mhm.
not everyone has the same idea of what support looks like.
No.
But having those conversations, clarity is a two-way street. If I say something and you don't understand it, it is on you to ask
Uh-huh.
for clarification.
Yep.
And so if you just muddle through and you're never sure about what you're doing and you're just doing,
Yeah.
that's the part that I have a hard time with.
Okay.
I you can ask my boss, I ask a lot of questions, sometimes because I care about the work and I wanna make sure that, my vision is always aligned with
Yeah.
with our vision.
Well, it's also like, I mean, even as you were going through that, I was like, oh, she's showing you show up with presence, curiosity, accountability, all these things, which is like love value, which also makes you able to listen and learn to gain knowledge from that other person, right? Like
Absolutely.
it's all right there.
It is. Those 2, go hand in hand for
Yeah.
me. I want to learn so much about people, and people the people that I work with will tell you that sometimes my mom would call it nosy, but that I am curious. Like, I ask some questions, I
Yeah.
just wanna know. It's not
Yeah.
to, judge anybody,
Yep.
steal, call anybody out. I'm just curious about
Uh-huh.
so many life is so interesting.
Yes, it is.
And there's curiosity in the mundane. There's curiosity in so much if you just sit back and watch and listen.
Yep. Absolutely. Like, there's an how many of us you have taken a story that was spoken over you. You're just nosy. You're so nosy, Shali. And you've rewritten it into curiosity that serves your values.
Absolutely.
Right? Like,
And
and so many of us need to do that, right? Like, there have been stories that have been spoken over us about who you are within your
yes.
family unit, probably, especially, right? Like, and like that's what like reclaim and rewrite the work is. Like, so you live that out in your authenticity.
And I so agree with that resonates with me because for so long, people play victim, and I am guilty of this. I am victim of, all the things because all the things that maybe were spoken over you or maybe the things that that happened to you. And so being authentic in this role is like I have that imposter syndrome. Like I don't belong here. I don't. If people only knew my story and they would know, like I deserve this role.
Yeah.
Um, and yet I've realized this year, everyone has a story. One thing I've learned from you is you don't measure people's hard. What may be hard for somebody else,
Yeah.
other people's hard looks different, but you don't compare that. And I was continuing to play the victim when I said, "Oh, if people only knew my
Yeah.
story, all the things that happened to me."
Uh-huh.
When truly all the things that happened to me have led me to where I
Exactly.
am. I always belonged here. Here we go again. It's probably the last time. There we go.
Right.
But it's crazy the times that happens.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But I always belonged here, and the things that happened to me, they happened for me.
Uh-huh.
So it's really reframing, like you said,
It is.
taking ownership over your life, and rewriting your own story. You can be anything you want to be. I love to paint. During those times, I think I'm an artist. Is it good? Is it quality? Could I sell it? Probably not. But
Uh-huh.
you can be whoever you want to
Yeah.
be.
I love it. I love it. Those hard one of the things shifts that I've been making is like that waiting, that struggle, that season, that was training ground.
I
And
love that.
it trained me up for where you got me now and where I am now, right? It was training ground, and I'm gonna reclaim it as training ground, like
Yes,
that.
and that will allow you to tell your story,
Right.
and others will learn from that, will benefit from your training.
Yep.
So, I love
Exactly.
you for sharing all of your experiences because through your work, you help us to become better and reclaim our stories.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, you ready for your last 2 questions?
I'm
Okay.
excited.
All right. Question that we ask everybody. When has courage looked different than you expected, and what did it teach you?
So, when has courage looked different than what I've expected? Courage has looked different this year by staying silent. Now, I know I talked about presence and
Mhm.
bringing your full self, and I've always felt like not good enough. I'm trying to prove, I'm trying to
Yeah.
hustle for my worth, all of those things. So usually when there's silence, I feel as if I need to speak. I need to put my voice in the room. I feel like I'm trying to help others because nobody wants to be the first one to speak. So I'm trying to protect people and protect that time.
Mhm.
And then two, I'm still trying to show that yes, I belong here.
Yeah.
And so when I really this year have embraced that I don't have to prove that to anybody. I am who I am. It has allowed me to just be silent and I don't have to fill that space for others. I need to um, allow others to fill that space for themselves.
Mhm.
And sometimes they will and sometimes they won't. And I have to be okay with that. But for me, that took courage
Uh-huh.
because knowing that I am enough, that I don't have to fill every
Mhm.
space for everybody, and
Yeah.
just sit back and be silent, and enjoy the curiosity, in the listening and learning.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Okay. Last question.
Okay.
What's one part of yourself that you are reclaiming or honoring right now?
So one part of myself that I'm reclaiming, honoring, I think it's rest for me.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh my gosh, I
I
love hearing that from an educator.
I love to do, and so for me, I love this work, and it's so much a part of who I am, but I'm reclaiming practicing the pause.
Yep.
I can practice the pause and still bring all of who I am. I, want to rush to meet everyone's needs, so quickly because, again, I don't want anybody to think that I'm not able to, handle the work, I'm not responsive and all those things. But it's okay to practice the pause. And sometimes it's okay to let people wait. Um, there's enough of me to go around, and I don't have to always just keep giving, 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 and just reclaiming my own self, my sense of worth, my sense of um, you do need to rest and practice a pause because you will get burnt out. And so because of that, I'm just, reclaiming the self-awareness piece that yes, I am enough, and yes, I can support, and I can do all the things in time.
There you go.
I don't have to do them all right now.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's so good. Someone needs that message so badly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for
Thank you.
walking out
Thank
this
you for
work.
having me.
You're
You are
welcome.
amazing. Your work, you know, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thanks for walking it out with me in this world. I
Thank you,
love it. Thank
Justine.
you. If people want to connect with you, where can they find you?
Find me on
Okay.
LinkedIn.
Okay.
I'm there hanging out.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to the Courage is Built Here podcast. Whether you're brand new to this work or living it out loud every day, I hope today was helpful, hopeful, and a reminder that you're not alone. What one bit of courage will you take from this episode, and how will you walk it out? If this episode encouraged you, share it with a friend, leave us a review, and please make sure you like and subscribe. New episodes come out every Wednesday on your favorite podcast platform and Fridays on YouTube. For more resources, head to JustineFroelker.com and click to my store. Because courage isn't a one-time thing, it's built right here, one small choice at a time, and especially between us.